Welcome to the Poisoner's Cabinet. I'm Sinead.
And I'm Nick.
And this is your weekly podcast exploring the lives of the great poisoners, macabre murders, and captivating crimes from across the centuries, and creating curious cocktails inspired by the tales that we tell. And it's episode 156.
I'm back.
You're back, Nick.
Don't have a scary, croaky voice anymore.
No, it's just back to normal, and some people are disappointed.
I know, yeah. I'm disappointed. It was quite fun.
And I also got a lot of messages going, what have you done?
So, no, I'm back. Thank you, everyone who sent such lovely messages. I have been poorly, but I am well on the way to a recovery.
You were hit by
it was not fun.
Bad flu.
Yeah.
You know, hence this episode, if anyone's listening in real time, is like, yes, we're sorry it's coming a bit late, but Nick's health must come first.
Unfortunately so.
My capacity for sleep must not.
Absolutely not.
So I've been running around going, are you okay? And what are we doing? Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, and huge thanks to Sinead as well, because this should have been my episode this week, and I'm just like, no, I cannot write. So Sinead has written an episode, and she did the Patreon by herself, and she wrote the theme tune, and she sang the theme tune. So thank you very much to Sinead.
That's all right. I like cars. But while you're coughing for sympathy there and everything.
I'm not well, yes.
Aside from recovering from the brink of death.
Brink, it was.
Are you well? How are you otherwise?
Apart from that, apart from brink of death, manship.
Manship? It was a popular trade.
Absolutely.
Well, it's the weekend.
It is the weekend, and
it's
Eurovision.
It's Eurovision. Oh,
That's
this
exciting.
is very good.
Yeah, I had to be well for that, because there's no way I'm sitting at home by myself watching Eurovision.
No way.
So I just force the germs to leave my body if I concentrate really, really hard and strain.
Sure, a few people around the world are probably planning Eurovision parties and doing big old do. Someone you work with was explaining the level of staging that has gone into their mega party. I just want a sofa, some good company, some drinks and snacks, and everyone's going to shut the fuck up.
Absolutely. None of this chatting malarkey.
No. We have to have a scorecard.
I want to listen to the songs.
My dear friend John Byron hopefully will be joining us, and he saw it once by accident with me when I watch it every year. He turned up next year with a scorecard he'd created. The level of detail on it would be worrying for a normal person, but he's a pilot, so this is the kind of level of detail you'd want with someone flying a plane. But yes, I'm excited for it.
It's going to be good, yeah.
Any poisonings this week?
Well, yeah, with me, there was me.
You can't keep milking that.
I can. I mean, it's been 2 weeks now. I can work
Was
that
it the milk?
Yeah. I can definitely carry on this going.
Okay.
That made no sense.
You poisoned your brain.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's still in there. It's still in there.
This is how the flu ended. Then the last couple of days, you just were going...
It just made no sense.
My brain is not working.
Yeah, it's just failed me. Any sort of words. I really have to think about words. Otherwise, they just come out like... Blah, 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 blah.
I was here writing the episode because I thought you needed company. You were sort of wandering around in a daze for a bit. Like you had this sort of black look in your eye. And I'm like, is Nick going to try and set fire to the couch?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of our brains not working and telling everyone to shut the fuck up while we watch Eurovision, I think it is time for us to thank our delicious Patreon subscribers.
Oh, we shouldn't. And they are the most ardentest of Eurovision fans, I have no doubt. Thank you very much. Firstly, to Lillian.
To Sam Compton.
To Andrea Finch.
To Norbibs.
And to Anne Puckett. Thank you very much. We hope you enjoy the Poisonous Cabinet and Eurovision.
What?
That made sense in my head.
Poisonous Cabinet and Eurovision.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Good. Okay, good.
Yeah,
right. Patreons will get it. I'd say we had fun on Patreon this week. You got a mini episode of me reading shit.
Yeah.
Me reading some weird crimes from times gone by, which was, I had fun.
Yes, Sinead had a jolly time.
I had a lovely time.
I think I was crying on a couch.
Nick, we have our pre-cocktail cocktails. Are you ready to drink more cocktails and talk about poison?
Yes.
Or we could drink more poison and talk about cocktails.
No, I want more cocktails. It's bizarre recording on a Friday.
It is. It's Friday night.
It's normally midweek, but now because of deathliness, it's been postponed. So it's very peculiar. I should be in the pub now, but I'm sitting here with a cocktail. Oh no.
And you've been ill all week, so you're ready to get on it.
Indeed, yes.
Well, shall we go with the first one?
Yeah, whatever that one was, let's do that.
Cocktails.
Yes,
cocktails and chat.
Cocktails.
Wonderful. Hooray, hooray, hooray. But we can't possibly have a story without a cocktail in hand. As you know, dear listeners, every week we choose a secret ingredient that is inspired by the tale that we tell, and it will flavour our cocktail of the week. And this week's secret ingredient is... madness.
Quite appropriate, I feel.
Madness, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've gone a bit mad this week as well. I've had several 12-hour days in a row. It's Shark Week, let's just face it. As well, some people will not know what that is.
Lovely.
And other people
lovely.
going, oh, come on, woman.
It's enough of that.
Hey, you know what? It's a normal thing and we all have to deal with it.
Sharks, they're dreadful.
I love a shark. Every week is Shark Week for me. But yes, madness. Madness is the theme, is the feeling, is the entity in the room.
Yes, it is.
So with madness then, as the ingredient, the inspiration, what have you come up with?
We are having a mad monkey.
I was sure it was going to be a mad monk.
No.
And then you just carried on. A mad monkey. Oh, I'm frightened by that.
Why?
Because I don't really like monkeys.
Oh, they're terrifying.
Yeah, they
They'll
are.
rip your arms off.
Exactly, legitimately. Like, it's not like my fear of flamingos, which is just stupid.
Yeah.
I acknowledge that. Chimpanzees.
Chimpanzee's an ape, I believe.
Chimpanzee and ape.
I think so.
don't know which
I don't know
it
what the
is.
difference is, to be honest.
Certain monkeys really frighten me.
I mean, some
because-
monkeys are very, very vicious.
Oh no, they tear people's faces
Yeah,
off.
absolutely. They'll eat you alive.
Oh, a mad monkey. Well,
Yeah.
but if it's a small one, like on Monkey Island, then
Yes.
then we can get on
A
board
small,
with that.
mischievous monkey
Oh
who
yeah.
wears hats
Oh.
but steals your hats. And he's like, "Where's my hat? Oh, the monkey's got it. Oh,
Oh.
oh, that
monkey-
damn monkey."
And he's put the hat on his foot. Oh, he's mad.
Oh, he's mad. He's a crazy monkey.
Yes, that's fine.
That kind of monkey is
oh,
fine.
let's have that kind of mad monkey, not the other tear off
Not
your
that,
eyelids.
not that I'm going to eat your face, monkey. I'm going to wear you like a suit. That's a terrifying. That's a mad evil monkey.
Yes, that's a Planet of the Apes situation. Why don't we know the difference between apes and monkeys?
I would say it's never come up in conversation before.
It's come up in science, so in
Yeah,
like
but
biology, didn't you ever like do it at school? Because I feel like I've had this conversation many
Do you know
times.
how long ago that was?
Yes, I do, mate, because I'm older than you.
Yeah. So a long time. So if I can't remember it, and I mean you're several decades more ancient than I am.
That's true. Fuck you. Well, that's something for us to look up in the
Perhaps,
break.
I mean, was evolution a thing when you were at school?
I know, God, no. It was just the Lord came down,
Yeah, absolutely.
gave you some rocks and said, do the best that you can,
Yeah.
and then disappeared on a cloud.
Yeah, so there was no things, monkey, apes, no distinction.
No.
absolutely
Belly
not that.
buttons were problem enough for us. Okay, well, a mad monkey. It's mischievous. It sounds fun. I think it is high time for us to swing into the Poisonous Cabinet kitchen and shake up a storm. So we'll see you in a minute.
We'll see you in a bit.
And we're back.
Hello.
Well, Nick, a mad monkey.
Mad
we
monkey.
have. But also, we did work out what was a monkey and what is an ape.
Oh, I've
Because
forgotten that.
you said all apes are monkeys.
All apes are monkeys, but not all monkeys are apes.
Yes, monkeys have tails.
Monkeys are higher up in the
Primate.
biological
Thing.
hierarchy thingamajig.
But apes are bigger.
But apes are bigger and scarier and will eat your face.
With their chimpanzees, definitely, and gorillas. But monkeys also include gibbons and baboons, and they'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
We
So
learned
just
something.
General fuckery.
But we have a mad monkey in our
You're a
midst.
mad monkey.
Ooh, it looks-
mad.
It looks very pleasant.
It looks maddening.
Does it look maddening? I don't know. I would think a maddening drink would be sort of green and fumes and
Well,
stuff.
I mean, you see, the first thing I went to when you said madness, I thought, right, this is going to be like a bowl of absinthe. that was my initial sort of
Yeah.
thing. Just have a whole pint of absinthe.
Someone did suggest a recipe that just had absinthe and cognac.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
We need to live.
Something like that. But I thought, no, I'm going to not do that.
Not do that.
I'm
It's going
gonna
to
do something
ease
else.
us into
Yeah,
the madness.
Exactly.
Okay, lovely. Well, the mad monkey. I wonder
The
what
mad monkey.
makes it monkeyish. But let's look. It's amber. It's not brown.
Not brown.
So yeah, an amber hue, I would say. A topaz, if it will. It smells
Just
of
realised actually how
alcohol.
very unequally I've poured these as well.
Yeah, exactly. You poured yourself a great big
Yeah.
measure, haven't
And
you?
you've got a thimble, but a thimbleful.
But a thimbleful. Merry Christmas.
Merry
To
Christmas.
your good health, Nick. Oh, things are happening.
There's a lot. Oh, and it works exceptionally well with the mini baby bell I've just eaten as well. So yes.
Nick has an array of snacks that he has been absolutely rinsing through.
Rinsing through. I've had one mini baby bell.
Yeah, you say. I wasn't in that kitchen.
Got my second one
You
on
got your second one
standby.
lined up, and the
Yeah.
hummus is waiting.
Yeah. Don't have a mini baby bell with this cocktail.
Well, I can't imagine it because this is sharp and fierce.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it, but there's something going on.
It's gonna send you mad.
There's a fucking okay. So it's really lemony to start with, or citrusy, and then about 5 seconds after you've taken the sip, you kind of go like there's something happening to your tongue, and there's something fucking twiggy in there, isn't there?
That's where madness lies.
That madness lies in twigginess.
In twigs.
But there's a lot of citrus covering it. But I could still sniff it out. I'm right, aren't I?
I don't know how the fuck you got that.
Is there the green?
There is the green.
The green chartreuse is in there. I can spot it a mile off.
Yeah, I'm impressed you got that one.
Because my tongue has gone numb and I have to use words in a minute. Oh, bloody hell.
I doubt there's just that, to be honest.
I'm sorry, I can't stop moving my mouth. What's going on with this drink? It is madness.
It's sending you mad.
Oh, goodness me. What's happening? Tell us about it.
Well, there's a lot going on.
Oh, shit.
There's a lot going on in this one.
Okay.
It's so yeah, my usual thing of I thought this week. So we've had
There's
a
gin
run.
in it.
There's gin in there.
Because you measured out some gin before you gave me a gin and tonic.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So I thought we've had a run of quite sort of spirit forward, hefty drinks of late. So I thought, okay, I'm going to look for something a bit more, perhaps a bit more lighter, a bit more citrusy. So I thought, this sounds interesting.
Yeah.
In a lighter citrusy. It's not.
No, it's weird.
It's in my sort of thing of 3-4 ingredients in a cocktail, tops.
Yeah.
7.
7. Oh, bloody hell.
So yeah, there's definitely madness involved here. So yeah, so we have gin.
Gin.
Now, originally, it calls for Monkey 47. That's where the Mad Monkey comes from. I don't have Monkey 47, so I've just used normal gin.
Oh, okay. Tanqueray,
and stolen, Tanqueray. And stolen the name. So you have gin. You have some chartreuse. You have some green chartreuse. You have some maraschino.
I thought there was maraschino in there.
Some maraschino in there.
Yeah.
So you have some lime. So you're heading towards the last word territory.
Oh, okay.
Then you're going to chuck some banana in there.
No.
Monkeys love a banana.
I was going to say banana, but I didn't get it.
You got a bit of banana going on there.
Banana.
And you got a bit of Amaro.
Oh.
You need a bit of Amaro in there as well.
Good
Let's
Lord.
just add the richness. And then just chuck some lemon juice in, just for why not.
My God.
So chuck everything you've got into a bucket.
It's a jungle in there,
it's a jungle
isn't
in there. It truly is a jungle.
I swear to God, I was going to say is there bananas in it? I can't taste it.
No.
And taste the maraschino.
There's the same amount of banana, maraschino, green chartreuse are in equal quantities in that.
I'll tell you what, it's not unpleasant, but I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah,
I
weird.
like how citrusy it is. That's the only thing that's saving it. You kind of go, oh, that's nice and crisp, but then you kind of go,
It's not one I'm going to make again.
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
But then there's no reason for the 7 things in there.
No.
It makes you go, couldn't this just have been a last word in your case? And for me, couldn't this just have been that without the green shot?
Well, it's like a casino or something like that. So
yeah, casino. Yeah. The banana adds nothing.
Banana, yeah.
And the Amaro.
And the Amaro in there as well. Then you've got the Montenegro Amaro in there.
Which I quite like, but it's just sort of lost, isn't it?
I mean, it is a very, very small amount. And I think that is what it's also giving that slightly browny hue on there. So, yeah.
I mean, it's truly a mad monkey.
It is definitely mad.
And it had banana in it.
And it's got banana in. Monkeys like bananas.
It's a thing.
It's a thing that was made. Well done, us.
And for all the listeners who have been gathering the bottles as they've come along with us during this show, this is one that you can just chuck shit into.
Yeah.
Just, you've got all those bottles, go for it. Whoever brought banana liqueur.
You got that banana liqueur in episode 6 and you're still with us, then here's your time to use it.
Exactly. Do that, then do some shots with it. Okay, well, with the Mad Monkey in hand, we need to stay on its side. We don't want to be on its wrong side. And we're heading down the street. Is it time for a story, Nick?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm going to regale you with tales.
I like tales.
I had but 24 hours to pull this together. When I was looking up possibilities for this week's episode, I found a story along the theme of the ingredient. Now, madness is really quite a big subject when you think about it, for crime and for all the avenues that we could go down. People have already started guessing on the ingredient posts that we've put out. Is it people who committed crimes who were very famously madmen who were in asylums or insane asylums or in hospital receiving treatment? What is the definition of insanity with crimes? I was just looking some of that up just recently, and it's really interesting. No, I was thinking around things that have the moniker of mad.
Okay.
We're looking at one particular story that has been sent to us a few times by our lovely listeners. And then I went down the old podcasters rabbit hole, where you click on a link and then you're just absolutely hit with a cacophony of Wikipedia and articles and mediums and all those sorts of things.
Yes,
going,
all the lists.
The lists.
Top 10 mad things ever.
Yes. And then you kind of go, oh, click this one. Oh, my God. Oh, click this one. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. But it laid out a series of crimes. So I have one big mad case. people have referenced before that I'm going to come to, but it also found a couple of little ones, some amuse-bouche, if you will.
Side madnesses.
Side dishes that will all involve a degree of madness because they're mad crimes, and mostly by mystery assailants.
Ooh, mystery mad people.
Mystery mad people, yes, alliteration. So we're going to start off strong, I feel. Nick, have you ever heard of Whipping Tom?
I have. And I don't know why I have.
The name rings a bell.
The name rings a bell. I could not tell you why or for where or whom.
Whipping Tom is the man, seemingly, behind a very serious series of crimes. Now, these are crimes, and then at the time, not pleasant at all. It's very hard not to look back on this and laugh.
Yeah.
And we are going to take a light-hearted approach to this. This is not to lessen any of the bad experiences felt by the people involved, but we're going to acknowledge it wasn't funny at the time, but it's very funny when you retell it now. Because we're going back to 1681, Nick.
Well, that's quite a way back.
1681, to the streets of London. Streets of London are no place for a woman to walk alone at night.
Quite not.
Absolutely. What I loved initially when looking into this story and some of the others is that some of the assumptions that are made in articles when writing about this particular case. You've got limited paragraphs, but generally people going the 1600s, God, it was a lawless place, London. Oh, absolutely.
It was a dreadful place.
No semblance of law and order. You'd walk down the street, be stabbed in the face and have your knickers stolen, and that was it.
And that was just the monkeys.
Yeah, was it just the monkey? They were roaming free. They had gangs of them. Jack the Ripper was a monkey. Yeah. We can prove it. But yes, not entirely true. Not entirely true. It's quite an interesting period in the 1600s because you still have sort of some part-time constables, mainly private landowners, who've decided, I will uphold the law out of the goodness of their heart, but also the sort of justice system emerging where mostly it's relying on the good nature of everyone else in the street.
Yeah, go, he did it.
Yes. If you see a crime, you must jump up and you must stop them and you must chase them. And if suspects were on the run, then the sort of sheriffs, whoever was vaguely not even paid employed in their this was a hobby of theirs, to catch the criminal, they'd all say, well, it's your duty as citizens and bystanders to come and join the mob and track them down. So when we still sort of say mob justice, this was actually what everyone was expected to do. Stop thief, and like, that is actually people shouting in the street.
It was a call to arms.
Yes, you were supposed to respond. Like, oh, wait, no, I'll stop. Stop, or I'll say stop again.
Not just get your phone out and go, ooh.
Just snap pictures of them. Yeah, it's sort of lessened these days. Oh, yeah, back in the day. Yeah, it was your public duty to respond. You had thief takers, obviously, who were the equivalent of modern bounty hunters. But yes, if you were walking the streets of London in 1681, that specific year, you had to rely on the goodwill of people around you to protect you. So, of course, when the sun sets, it is a breeding ground for criminals.
Be home way before that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And if you were walking the streets, you might befall some unfortunate company. It's a perfect stalking ground for Whipping Tom. Now, what on earth did Whipping Tom do? You might have a guess.
I may have a guess that he involved whipping.
Yeah, you're thinking like riding crop or kind of like an actual whip.
Yeah, or perhaps just making some nice cakes. Perhaps he was just going around just baking, whipping some egg whites, making a nice meringue.
Just you see him lurching out of the shadows.
Yeah, with a bowl and going, ha ha, holding meringues over his head. And then skulking back into the dark.
Whipped it with an inch of its life.
Exactly. Not that.
He was not
Mary
as
Berry.
Imposing. No. Mary Berry's great grandmother was not the imposing force that she wanted herself to be. Went back to just baking in shops. Became Mrs. Lovett.
If not that, then I might go, perhaps some sort of riding crop or something like that.
Yes, beating people in the street. Yeah. Well, Whipping Tom operated between Fleet Street, the Strand, and Holborn. So, and of course, lurking in dark alleyways. Very much so. Picture all the beautiful, oldie-timey, dark alleyways. Oh, it's very creepy.
I'm loving some oldie-timey dark alleyways.
Exactly. Well, you've got a picture in your head, haven't you? Cobbles and steam. I don't know why like mist.
Mist, yeah, fog, London fog.
And a man just furiously creating meringues. This creepy figure would lie in wait for lone women to walk by. Then he would pounce. He would seize them, lift up their skirts, and then smack their buttocks repeatedly. With his hand, or with a stick, sometimes a rod, and then would run into the night crying out his dreadful catchphrase, "Spanko!"
I mean, it is a dreadful catchphrase. I give him that. No, you shouldn't laugh. It's a terrible, terrible thing.
It's assault. It is assault.
It is a violent, horrific sexual assault on someone.
Yes, exactly.
But also quite amusing.
No one could identify this spanking man for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
perhaps.
they're too busy.
Yeah.
Distracted.
But yet, lots of women at this time came forward, complained of being roundly spanked by a mystery man in the street. And as amusing as this is, and we're going to go down the amusing line, let us completely condone this is unwanted sexual assault.
Absolutely.
And one person, when I mentioned this story to them in passing, how did they deal with all the skirts of the 1600s?
I mean, that's true. There's a lot of layers going on there.
I was like, you're damn right, actually.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Now, these weren't necessarily highborn women.
Well, still, you're going to have a petticoat and an under petticoat and a sub petticoat
and stays.
And yes, I mean,
and
all
a man
sorts.
under there
And
dealing with it.
Absolutely.
You know? Or probably a ladies' maid.
Ladies' maid. Just crouching underneath.
Protecting the front bit mainly.
Right,
They'd left the buttocks unattended. But yes, this man was grabbing women, bending them over the knee, lifting up their skirts with the hand, sometimes with a switch, sort of a birch switch or a rod. It was said. Now we don't know what this was. It's like it could, and this could result in injury. So it's not
absolutely
at all pleasant. However, the stories of it just keep emerging, and everyone's just got their head in their hands, going, "Oh God, this is not going to end well in the press." A booklet was written at the time of Whipping Tom's assaults, and we might ponder how this booklet came around. It was called Whipping Tom, Brought to Light and Exposed to View by Anonymous.
Right.
This booklet recorded his first adventure, as near as we can learn, was on a servant maid in New Street, who, being sent out to look for her master, was turning a corner, perceived a tall, dark man standing up against the wall, as if he had been making water. But she had not passed far, but with a great speed and violence seized her, and in a trice laid her across his knee, took up her linen, and laid hard upon her backside, as she made her cry out most piteously for help, the which he no sooner perceiving to approach, as she declares, than he vanished. So yeah, that's the account of the time. Now,
spooky.
The women were shocked. Some sustained injuries. The man moved with such speed, it was said, such incredible vanishing act, given such the violence of the sudden violence of this crime. People started to think, does he have supernatural powers?
Well, absolutely.
Yes. Shades of Spring Heel Jack in years to come. But yes, who is he and how does he escape into the night? Because this is quite weird. The press immediately took to calling him Whipping Tom. There was a pretty obvious nickname there, but maybe they just didn't want to go with Spanko as the headline.
Yeah, no, Whipping Tom. I think that's better than Spanko.
Yeah, Whipping Tom or Whipping Jack, it could have been. But they were like, oh, we've used Jack too many times. We will in the future.
We will in the future. We're using Jack a lot.
Oh, at the time, in the 1600 Jack, it was Jack this and Jack that. Or Tom, let's give Tom a go. The working women of the streets of London would not be beaten, literally and figuratively, by this man. They complained loudly to the London's police force, such as it was, with them trying to vaguely assemble some sort of authority. The police in turn said, to be fair, we're not actually properly formed yet, so we'll sort of wander the streets a bit, but you all need to do more.
Yeah, you definitely do, people.
We've got like bounty hunters and Dave over there who's not good.
Dave's very tired.
He's very tired. The public did take matters into their own hands. The women started to arm themselves against this beast. Pocket knives.
Yeah.
They were armed up with pocket knives, but others had scissors. They had sharp objects concealed around their body, maybe on the buttocks as well. So one woman walking around with pants made entirely of spikes. I assume.
I see. Yeah, absolutely.
I assume.
Yeah.
Or chili. I mean, you got to improvise back then in kind of like, aha, yes, bees. It's all bees.
It's just bees.
I made pants of bees.
Yes, actually, Pesco is just bees.
Exactly. She hums somewhat.
She hums as she walks.
Don't think the men didn't do anything to help either, Nick.
I'm sure they did.
When they heard...
Many great things.
Absolutely. When they heard about Whipping Tom, they took steps to lay in wait for the foul creature, with several of them electing to dress up as women. And wait to be attacked.
I mean, that's generosity. That's taking one for the team, I feel. It's...
I mean...
Yeah.
Oh, no, I hope I'm not...
Yeah. No, who's... No, volunteers? Oh, no, surely not. No one volunteer? Okay, I volunteer.
All right, Chris, you're already wearing the dress. You've put on a lot of makeup. That's a nice touch. But yes, men were hanging out on street corners like, oh no, if Whipping Tom should get me. Proudly volunteered. No one else thought to actually try and do any investigative work at all.
No. None of that.
It was
all too busy choosing hats.
And garters. The attacks continued, but with no description of this man ever reaching any form of authority. This is the thing about Whipping Tom. No one could describe it. No one ever was able to give a proper description. And victim or everything, you're not going to see the person. No one sees him running away. No one's able to give any kind of identity.
Well, the ladies are in shock.
They are, absolutely,
Such treatments.
But later in 1681, 2 men were arrested and tried for the attacks. A haberdasher and a friend.
Haberdasher and company.
They were put on trial, but no records exist of their case. No names, no defence, no outcome. All we have is this booklet that says, 2 men were caught. The haberdasher and another guy.
Friend.
Yes, who didn't note down the profession.
Right.
Haberdasher, he was obsessed with petticoats. And when he had no more petticoats, he slapped the flesh going, you should be clothes, apparently.
I'm in shock.
He's weird. I don't know. I mean, it's weird. It's mad.
It's mad. Totally mad. Can't argue with that.
Was this tale made up to convince people of the police's effectiveness? Were they saying, yeah, we totally caught someone. We've totally caught someone.
I mean, with not even a name. Even back then, they kept records of such things.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And it would have been in the paper.
Well, another theory goes was Whipping Tom someone of nobility whose name could not appear in the paper or any police reports.
I mean, possibly, but if you're that way inclined, you're just going to whip from the pleasure of your own apartments, really, aren't you? And your fancy palace.
Well, so that becomes boring.
You could
surely?
just have people delivered to you for whipping purposes.
Well, yeah, but there's, I guess, from a pervert's perspective, there's something of the thrill of pretending to be lower class and then going out into the street and attacking. Maybe. If you're the sort of sick individual who wants to attack lone women on the street, having someone delivered to your house isn't going to have the same zing.
That's very true. That's
yes,
very true.
His house was probably a horrible place to work, I'm just going to say. Whipping Tom was never caught. In 1712, he made another resurgence, I'm going to call
that's
it.
That's quite a trend later.
Well, yeah, quite a bit later.
Yeah.
So what's that?
This is Whipping Tom
30
Jr.
years. 30 years later. Well, maybe it was Junior, and then he decided, I love doing that. I'm going to do it again. A total of 70 women were said to have been attacked in 1712, spanked by a stranger in the same streets where the previous assailant had lurked. This one was said to have used a birch switch exclusively to spank the ladies, attack the ladies, not his bare hands. 70 women, though, and no name.
Yeah, that can't be the same person.
Over a 2-month period.
Yeah. I mean, that's some speedy work as well.
How many is that a day?
So, well, that's one a day. Over one a day. Yeah. Over 2 months. So, 60 days and 70 women. So, that's more than one a day.
A man was caught. A man named Thomas Wallace confessed to the crimes. He said that he had done it all for revenge. One report that came at the time, he was resolved to be revenged on all the women he could come at after that matter, for the sake of one perjured female who had been barbarously false to him.
Right.
Apparently, he had told the authorities his goal had been to attack 100 women by Christmas. Then he was going to take a break for Christmas.
Okay, good.
For the 12 days.
For the 12 days, that's nice.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Then start up again.
It's good to respect one's religion.
And also the cheese break. But we don't know what happened to him.
Okay.
Or his age. Or where he lived, really. Was he a copycat?
Yeah, well, he wasn't the same. He couldn't have been the same person.
30 years difference.
Yeah, but back then, life expectancy was like 4. So
I shudder to think of the original age of Whipping Tom.
So, yeah, no, I can't imagine it's the same person.
I mean, someone's read the booklet.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's read something or... I mean, okay, I'm going to say it, but there's spanking is not that unusual a fetish.
No.
So, for 2 people 30 years apart to have the same inclinations, it's not beyond the world of possibility.
What, Nick? Seriously, no, only one person's ever had that thought once.
Just one person of a generation
per century.
So, the other one has to die before the new one to be triggered.
While there were, I'm sure, very genuine attacks, very genuine incidents, there's also talk that the rumour mill might have been turning and plenty of people going, oh, I was attacked by so-and-so and all sorts of things. You know, possibly sex workers at the time who had agreed to something with completely different people going, can I get some compensation? Can I do something like that? You know, desperate times. All manner of things could be going on. But we do not know who Whipping Tom was. We don't know where he is. Is he still operating now? Has he defied the laws of physics? Maybe
not though. That last one.
One nice side note in all of this as well was that there was an alleged case of whipping Tom in 1672, really early. But the only description was he was described as such an enemy to the milk wenches' bums.
Such an enemy.
Such an enemy. Sex pest.
Yeah, let's just go with the sex pest.
That's nice, yes. So that's a bit mad, isn't it?
I would definitely agree with your assumption there.
You would agree with me that that's mad.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go with mad.
So let's go to another mad.
Okay, more mad. I like more mad. More whipping.
It is street-based.
Street-based.
It's not whipping. This is a little bit more brutal.
Oh.
But not deadly.
Oh, okay.
But mad.
Street-based madness, okay.
Street-based madness. We've gone into the 1700s now.
Oh, okay. Progressed slightly.
Yes. Do you know of the London Monster?
No, I can't say I do.
London Monster. Okay, so this may be a little bit squeamish for people. I'm building it up too much, possibly.
I like eating eyeballs.
I probably would start with that, wouldn't I? By the way, there's going to be some eye chewing going on. No. Okay, so he first appears in 1788. George and London, of all places.
Oh, surely not.
Now, whereas Whipping Tom was probably targeting ladies maybe of a lower class in the street, this chap wanted to target wealthy women. Oh, yes, well-to-do wealthy women in London who were alone in the streets.
Well,
I don't know how. This is all the information we have. Out for a stroll in their many, many layers and their frills. But they all reported, many wealthy women reported being confronted by a large man who seemed to have been following them. And then he would take one of two tactics. He would either begin pretty brutishly shouting obscenities, gross things at them. He would grab them, grab at their skirts, lift the skirts, but this time he would stab them with pins.
Oh.
Yeah, small blades or pins, so it's a pricking fetish. Really.
That's weird.
Yeah, which is weird. It's not very pleasant.
No.
The other way he would tempt people in was that he would go up to the lady, offer them a lovely bunch of posies.
Nice.
Would you like to smell these posies?
Have a lovely posy.
Yeah, and there were like sharp objects. Wouldn't you?
No, you would have a posy.
What's a posy?
A posy is a bunch.
Is it?
Yes, it's like a little assortment of flowers. It's a little posy of flowers. So it's not a particular flower.
Basing this entirely on The Simpsons.
Yeah, don't do that.
When Mo comes up to see Marge and goes, "Here, I bung you some posies."
Yeah, no.
So a posy is a bunch of flowers.
Posy is like a little bundle of flowers. There's a posy.
Can't believe Mo lied to me. Oh, yeah. All right. So a posy.
A posy.
It's actually a nosegay. It's
actually
It was called. I put posies because I thought it was cute.
Yeah. Because it makes a lovely fragrant smell and
that's
makes one's nose happy and joy.
Yes, have a go on this nosegay.
Have a go on this nosegay.
And he would proffer such florals to the ladies, and then there were spikes in them.
Yeah, that's not good.
Or blades or needles, and he would just sort of shove that in their face.
Boo.
So yeah, not nice.
No,
not
that's
nice.
Not nice.
Yes, clearly some sort of weird fetish there about poking
women. I don't know why I
women.
have a spanking. Fine, crack on, mate.
Well, you're not piercing the skin.
Yeah,
really,
the other one. That's you've crossed a line. I'm going in for the baby bell now. So you
need the baby bell to calm you.
I need sustenance. Stabbing is a different level.
This is quite weird. Other times he was said to have just wantonly slashed at the women's dresses and their skirts would sustain injury along the way, but it seemed to be something to do with the clothing.
Okay.
Now that he was slashing at them. Again, 50 women. As many as 50 women claim to have been attacked by this assailant. Yet, still, the police had very little information. Yeah. He was named the London Monster by the press. The public clamoured for the police to get off their arses and capture him. Again, many men took to the streets now. Less of the dressing up this time. Didn't really fancy
Well, if they know they're going to get stabbed, it's probably not quite so encouraging.
Didn't want to be stabbed. What they did do, though, to reassure all the ladies, was wear badges saying not monster.
Well, that's very considerate of them.
They were part of the No Monster Club.
No Monster Club.
No
right.
Monster. By the way, ladies, I'm definitely not the London Monster.
Definitely not a creepy man who's going to try and stab you.
Absolutely.
Will you come home with me, please?
I have a badge.
I've got a badge to prove that I'm entirely normal.
Yes, let me touch your face.
Yeah.
This is so it's not all men group of the time going, we need to start a club, and if we have a badge, women won't think we're the pervert.
Yeah, we're not the weird ones.
The London Monster couldn't have conceived of doing such a thing. Shit, I should have had a badge.
The London Monster wouldn't have been able to join such a prestigious club.
No. Does he have a badge?
Does he have a badge? No, he doesn't have a badge. Well, he must be a monster.
He must be a monster, exactly, if you'd only thought of it. So, yeah, these guys absolutely securing themselves.
Secure, absolutely.
Women bleeding in the streets going, what are you doing? Also, pickpockets took full advantage of this as well. Walking around the street, to men as well, like just going around stealing their wallets. And then if the men turned around and looked at them, then the pickpockets would go, he's the London Monster, get him. And then all the mob would jump on him. He'd like, well, off I go.
Okay.
Cashing in.
Well, yeah, making the most of a bad situation, I suppose.
A reward of £100 was offered by a private citizen for the capture of the London Monster. Gangs of vigilantes took to the streets to find him, and women began to wear copper pans over their petticoats.
Okay.
Copper pans is all I have. I don't know if they were flattened. I don't know if it was just all of the pans from the kitchen, sort of guarding various areas, clanging down the street.
Clanging down the street.
Yeah.
Well, you put them between the various layers, it's going to muffle.
This is lots of layers. It's the Georgian times. But eventually a young lady named Anne Porter, who claimed she had been attacked by the London Monster previously, was walking in St James's Park with her bow, and she saw a man, and she suddenly took a fright. This was her attacker. This was her attacker. Her beau, who was with her, went up to the man, challenged him to a duel instantly. You have offended, you have assaulted her. What do you call them?
Well, fiance?
Fiance, well, I guess, yeah, fiance. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to get married. You have offended and assaulted my fiance. I challenge you to a duel. The man that they accosted was 23-year-old Reinwick Williams.
Okay.
A violinist and a dancer.
Okay.
A gentle soul.
Gentle soul. Not so good with the guns, probably.
No. Or swords. Or anything. More of the dancing variety.
More of the dancing.
He can fling a fiddle anytime.
Yeah.
Williams obviously denies this. Like, what are you talking about? No. Yes, I recognise Miss Porter, actually. I
was at a recital she went to one day or something.
I think he says he approached her once to inquire of her health and would she walk with him sometime. But no, of course I never would do such a thing.
Did he have a badge?
He didn't have a badge.
Well, that's his own fucking fault then, wasn't it?
Didn't have a badge.
Yeah, didn't have a badge.
The authorities would not have any of this. They would see this man convicted. Oh, we have a positive identification. That's all they cared about. While they feel like, okay, we may not have enough evidence to point him to any attacks on women.
Bad violining?
No, defacing clothing, which was a criminal offence at the time.
Right.
Because of the slashing of the skirt.
The slashing of the frocks.
Yeah, they decide that they can get him on the slashing of the frocks.
Right, so the stabbing and the pins, that's fine.
The reports of this are so convoluted because of the age. It would transpire that some of the women who had come forward claiming to have been attacked and stabbed had made up false claims. It did happen, but the women who happened to be at the trial when this man was brought forward, they were kind of questionable, and they were worried, like, okay, we might not be able to get him on this stabbing thing, but we do have a woman who's got her skirts ripped, and defacing clothing was a crime.
Probably less burden of proof as well. Didn't have to be quite so hot on your evidence.
Yeah.
For a pinning than
Absolutely.
you did with a... Oh, yeah, slash my frock.
Yeah, slash your frock, and this actually dates back to the value of certain...
Well, it would have been incredibly wasteful and to destroy such a thing like that, because it would have been horrendously expensive.
Exactly,
and worth a small fortune.
Precedents had been set beforehand, and it carries a hefty motherfucking sentence.
Wow.
Despite the police having no evidence of this man attacking anyone, and as I said, most of the victims called to court couldn't identify him, or go like, actually, I made all this up. Oh, I'm serious for a laugh. Williams was sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Christ.
The attacks did stop after he went to jail.
Okay.
But maybe was it because he was got the person goes, oh, actually, I need to calm down a bit. Yeah. Someone's been convicted. I need to sort of back away into the background. And some said they did continue. Oh, maybe it was him.
Was it him? Perhaps him, yeah. A life of violining and dance wasn't enough?
Wasn't enough for him. Anne Porter and her beau did collect the £100 reward for capturing him.
Got a few new frocks out of that, I'm sure.
A few new lovely frocks. Now, some people claim this attacker never existed. They claim it was mass hysteria. Closer to the legend of Spring Heel Jack, same sort of thing. An innocent man possibly identified by a woman who was terrified. Really, how could 50 wealthy, high-standing women be stabbed in the buttocks by a stranger in the street and no one can identify them? Yeah. That was the question that was asked. I'm not saying it's true. And
it's probably also because you're going to have people, wealthy, high-class women, alone in the street, are going to be the target of pickpockets and all those sorts of people as well. So if someone is trying to cut your purse from your belt or something like that, that's gonna, so you can think someone's gonna trying to grab your ass or something like that. So it's probably 100 different pickpockets and little thieves and all this sort of thing who are targeting lone women in the street, as they would, because it's an easy target, rich pickings as well, and it's all being conflated under this one sort of evil bastard who just likes poking people in the arse.
It's a really good point that how many of those women would know of such things, you know, having people cutting your purse and actually cutting your skirts just to get to your money would be like completely flabbergasted and just thinking the worst of things. Like, I just want to see if you've got any cash.
Yeah, I just want your money. I don't care about touching you or doing anything weird like that. I just want your money. So I just want to steal your purse.
Yeah, it's quite possible that was the case in some of the cases.
In a lot of them, it's probably just...
I'm also sure there were plenty of freaking horrible people in the street assaulting women.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have no doubt about that. But I don't know if it's all the same person. Well, it's just a lot of bastards out there.
It's a weird thing that why wouldn't that come up in any other period of time? You know, let's look at the rest of the 1700s and 1800s, you know, the Victorian era. Why don't we have these suddenly spells of attacks if it was just random thieves cutting your purse and cutting your skirt to get your money? Why do we suddenly have this concentration in that year of women all saying they've been stabbed in the buttocks? And before that, being spanked by this person. You know, it's enough that people have made this a case and remarked on it.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's a fair point. So, yeah, it must have been something going on. Absolutely.
Something happened.
Yeah.
But now we've been in the 1600s. We've been in the 1700s. It is now time for the maddest case of them all.
Ooh, the maddest of the mad.
When I say mad, I said by name. The case of the mad gasser of Mattoon.
Okay.
And I think that's time for a drink.
It's definitely time for a drink.
So, Nick, we have our drinks.
We do.
Time for our third and final story.
Oh, exciting times.
Of madness.
Madness.
Yes, the mad gasser of Mattoon.
Mattoon, let's go with Mattoon.
Mattoon, yes. Again, a story that has been sent to us since we started this podcast. A shorter one. But I decided, yes, this will meld well with other mad mystery attacks.
Yeah, it goes with the madness of themes.
And it's quite an interesting one. This is one for a chat about, I think. It's 1944, Nick.
Okay.
And we are in Mattoon, Illinois. America is at war.
Yes.
The country is tense, to say the least. But back home on home soil, you have many of the families whose loved ones are overseas in service. But it's nighttime on the 31st of August on Grant Avenue in Mattoon. A sheet metal worker named Urban Rafe, good name, awoke in the early hours of the morning feeling very ill and weak. He also noticed a very strange smell in his bedroom. He's woken up feeling very woozy, very ill, and this smell like cheap, sweet perfume. Within moments, he's retching. He begins to vomit. He turns to his wife, who's sleeping next to him. She's left the stove on. Fuck off and turn off the stove.
Yeah, silliness.
Yeah, you, wife, go deal with the stove.
Wife, go and do stuff.
Yeah, it's hitting her, pushing her around. Oh, she's not moving. She's not moving. No, but she's alive, but she can't move. She's paralyzed.
Ooh.
She's alive but has paralysis through her limbs. They don't perish. They manage to get out of the house, but this is the first incident where two people have just woken up in the night, strange smell, barely can move, vomiting. What the shit has gone on? And there is no gas leak in the house. The same night, another family on Grant Avenue experienced a similar terror. A young mother named Alice Kearney awakes next to her two young children and smells the same sickening sweet odour in her bedroom. And it grows stronger and stronger, and she also experiences paralysis in the lower half of her body. Now, she manages to call for her sister, but her sister is staying with her. She managed to scream for her sister to get into the room and open the window because they can't breathe for this awful smell. Does this, opens the window, sees no one outside, no house, no military vehicles, no signs of an attack, no alarms are going off or anything, because they fear, is this some sort of gas attack? What on earth has gone on? The room is cleared and Alice is okay and her kids are okay. Alice's husband returns home. He's a taxi driver. He says he spies a tall man in the garden wearing what appears to be a tight-fitting cap and standing by their bedroom window. He tries to approach the person runs and vanishes. Okay, this is weird. It's a prowler. And then he goes inside and hears what's happened to his wife and children, attacked by some sort of gas in the house. Her throat by now, Alice's throat, is burning and her lips are burning as well. So obviously the police are called. The papers get hold of this story. They run it, labeling the villain as the anesthetic prowler, or as the anaesthetist prowler, shit name, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, it's not the best.
They just went a prowler, and they seem to have been anesthetized, and just mash that together and just run it, man. Run it. It's late at night. It could be the attacker wanted to break into the house. They think, okay. The Kearneys themselves had a lot of money in the house. It was quite known. Maybe that only emerged when the police spoke to them. But maybe someone was taking their chances and trying to sneak in and do a daring robbery. But it soon appears that Alice was not alone, as Urban Rafe's story comes out, and then 2 more people report the same strange-smelling gas in the neighbourhood, in their houses that night, and being partially paralysed by it, including 2 children. What's more people are reporting seeing a tall man in a tight-fitting hat or mask prowling the streets at the time.
Yeah.
The 5th of September, Carl and Beulah Cords come home. And as they come onto their porch, they notice on the screen door of the house there is a white cloth, and Beulah picks up the cloth. For some reason, she smells it, maybe instinctively, like, what is this? Brings it close to her face. Immediately says she's losing the feeling in her limbs.
Oh.
Her throat is badly burned by the fumes, and she actually starts to spit blood.
Oh, Christ.
So it's pretty savage.
Yeah, absolutely. From one inhalation.
Yeah.
That's
quite close by.
Yeah.
She survived. She's okay. The couple later think, was the rag left there for their dog? Their dog used to guard the porch. Was it intended to knock the dog out or kill the dog? Again, was someone trying to get into the house? Why would someone leave this there? Or was it for them? In the following days, several more homes were attacked by this mystery prowler. All people report is a tall man wearing this tight-fitting cap. Some say it is a mask. Some say it may be a gas mask. Others report that he is carrying a flint gun.
Okay.
So that kind of old-fashioned...
Yeah, right, oldie-worldy.
gassy kind of gun.
Gassy? What's a gassy kind of gun?
But no one can give more of a description than that. Just like our previous 2 assailants, all we have is this seeming gas attack on several households in this town, and a shady figure wandering around, and no one can pinpoint who he is. By the Cords house, they have a skeleton key is found on the ground near to the house. So they've got the rag on the door, a skeleton key to the house is found on the ground, and also an empty tube of lipstick.
Oh, a random object?
Yeah, were they dropped? Did they belong to the attacker? Did the attacker want to look chic for the whatever they were doing?
When one is attacking,
You would. The attacker struck again, according to witnesses, now apparently being seen spraying fumes through open windows and causing residents to flee screaming from their homes. Panic is now mounting that the town is under some sort of attack from a madman armed with poisonous gas.
Yeah, that's disturbing.
The police step in and go, okay, no one's to linger in residential areas. If we see any of you on the street, we're going to disband you and send you home.
We're going to shoot you.
Go home, because that's apparently safe. There's no chance of a gas attack there. Probably everyone standing outside go, well, we don't feel safe in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Outside is probably better than inside at this point.
Yeah. They warned against vigilante reprisals, but there are still armed groups marching about up and down the street, attacking farmers and anyone who's spraying their roses against greenfly. A bunch of farmers actually join the hunting group going, no, let them steal our pesticide, probably. The police are both trying to stop these mystery attacks, but also stop the public groups from fucking shit up.
Yeah.
So this is where we have, again, the juxtaposition between back then, we need you to fight the criminals. Now the police going, please don't.
Please don't do anything. Just go home and sit down.
Stop trying to destroy Joe Malone. It's not going to help.
Go and have a nice cup of tea somewhere.
The trouble is now Everyone is reporting attacks by the gasman to the police every 5 seconds, practically. People are seeing prowlers, they're seeing blue vapors in their house. They are being gassed, they're being hounded. But so many of these reports now turn out to be false alarms.
Yeah.
When the police turn up, there's nothing. There's no hit. There's no one even injured. There's no signs of any of the burning
Just
or the gas attacks.
crazy paranoia.
Exactly. And the police decide to come right out and say this. They say, this is all nonsense, in so many words. They say to the public and the press, look, most of these have been false alarms.
Yeah.
You're calling us every 2 minutes. They're false alarms. Nothing is happening. We think this is all reasonable explanations. There isn't someone prowling the streets. The only explanation they gave for their reasonable explanation is that it may have been gas from the local Atlas diesel engine company.
Okay.
So the great big plant that's in their town, you're just going to libel them, are you? Just go, oh, well, it could just be poisonous gas from the big corporate.
Yeah, overspill or something from the...
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it sounds like something you should follow up, but they don't.
But also, I think probably less sort of health and safety and sort of environmental protections back then. So
I
it
guess
could well be this factory pumping out fuck knows what.
that would be a follow-up investigation.
yeah.
But they're saying right now, look, if it is this factory, it's not a man prowling the street.
Yeah.
No one is breaking into your homes, like you said.
It's only this factory trying to kill you.
Yes, exactly. And all of you who swear down that people have been in your house, well, it's a figment of your imagination, and it's mostly women anxious about all their husbands being at war. Yeah, which is not so great. They said anyone who came to them reporting a gas attack and who didn't submit to a medical examination would be arrested.
Okay.
Yeah, they go.
Yeah, they're not taking any shit here, are
No,
they?
exactly. Report stopped.
Yeah, unsurprisingly.
Fear, embarrassment, whatever it is. The gas's terrible reign appears to have stopped. Apart from one report from a woman named Bertha Burge. Lovely. Bertha said she had seen the attacker after the reports had stopped. She had seen the attacker and just said it was a woman disguised as a man. But that was it. There's no more information.
Right.
The mad gasser of Mattoon was never heard from again. And their identity, if they ever existed, remains a mystery. And again, people believe this is a case of mass hysteria.
I don't think he ever existed.
Midst of war,
Yeah.
fear of attack, of gas attacks.
Absolutely.
People separated from their loved ones,
Yeah.
really fearful of what was happened. Is it someone taking advantage of the situation?
But to what end? To what gain?
Were they trying to break into houses and steal money? Was this person a brilliant chemist and a shit burglar?
I mean, say if houses have been broken into and things stolen, that would surely would have been reported as well. So to have no reports of burglaries and muggings or anything like that, if people are rendered unconscious and then someone has stolen things or done terrible things, but to have no reports of that.
Well, that's the point, is that they were terrible as a burglar. Like, this was someone chancing themselves and going, I've got some chemicals, I think I can knock people out. And whatever the dosage was over this very small number of days where the genuine possible attacks happened, was this someone trying to gas people in their homes. But they all woke up and they all started shouting, they all started screaming. So it didn't work. They didn't knock anyone out and they weren't able to get in and steal stuff. And the couple who came home on their porch were not knocked out, and the dog wasn't knocked out. This person was just terrible at burgling.
Terrible at their plans.
Had an idea,
Yeah.
and caused a lot of problems.
Yes, I suppose that is absolutely a possibility, I suppose.
Or toxic waste. Was it this diesel engine plant?
I mean, that probably
rolling down the hill, or wherever it was.
I wouldn't be surprised for that, especially if you're in the middle of war. A plant like that would be sort of required to have increase their output by God knows how much to sort of
interesting.
For the war effort and such like. If they're making motors and electronic equipment or whatever it is, they're going to be required to, right, you need to triple your production. So were corners cut? Were safety things overlooked for the sake of productivity and meeting quotas and what have you, and that has resulted in this random release of toxins or what have you. I'll be much more inclined to say something like that based on the 10 minutes conversation we've had now.
That's it.
And now my obvious expertise in the matter. More likely something like that.
I don't know. It's weird enough that
Maybe.
It's possible, but yeah, maybe. I like the way that the police 100% went, oh, it's Big Farm.
It's them over
Big
there.
Farm did it. They're like, what? Well, Big Farm, like Diesel.
Big Diesel.
Big Diesel, big corporation. That's it.
Yeah.
The corporations are all being corporationally. The other very popular explanation, alien.
Oh, I mean, obviously it's aliens.
Yeah, it's an alien.
Yeah.
Who's coming gassing people to
Right,
steal their skin.
One big farty alien.
Yep. Was just attacking these people. There just doesn't seem to have been any gain in this point.
For anyone, really.
No.
For
Nothing was
aliens,
stolen.
burglars.
Who knows? Maybe they
Big
got our
Pharma.
DNA. The Diesel company did not make human cars.
No one seems to have profited greatly by this gassing.
But that's it. It's the gassing of several people in this town. They were poisoned in their own homes, they claimed, which led to a huge number of allegedly false claims, false alarms that the police had to deal with. And so the case was roundly stopped and like, right, all of you stop reporting anything.
Just
So
stop being
maybe
silly.
there had been an isolated incident, but then everyone just got on the bandwagon of it because of war hysteria, because of just...
I definitely agree with that. I think whatever caused the initial thing, if it was some lone man experimenting with something, and it was obviously failing, or it was a result of a toxic release or whatever, or an alien or whatever. Obviously, those few cases caused a mass panic, and you're absolutely right. The ambience of the time of the being at war, everyone worried about loved ones being away and things like that, is going to heighten concern and general confusion. Yeah,
maybe it was Whipping Tom who'd come back. He was gassing people in
maybe
order.
everyone just needed a good whipping.
Everyone needed a good spanking.
Everyone needed a good spanking. Put your trousers up. Get on with it.
There you have 3 cases of truly mad
Excellently
crimes.
maddening crimes. Nicely done.
Well, what do you think, people? What do you think of our 3 mad crimes? What do you think of the mad gasser of Mattoon? I hope I pronounced that right. Yes, a popular poisoning story that has been sent to us. A short one because we go, okay, well, this just happened.
This is what it is.
What do you think? Do you think this was an attacker and then caused some mass hysteria? Do you think it was all mass hysteria? Do you think there was no gassing anywhere ever? What happened with this paralysis and this strange smell? Was it toxic waste? Was it something even weirder that we haven't explored? Or was it aliens? Or ghosts?
Ghosts?
Ghost gassings.
Ghost gassings.
The London Monster, again, very strange with the pricking of things by the pricking of my thumbs. Yeah, less fun. But Whipping Tom.
Yeah.
That was horrible for some of the people, but also just a bit weird.
Yeah.
Running around shouting Spanko.
Spanko. It's not a great catchphrase.
No, he could have thought of a better one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Well, I mean,
The Great Spanko.
The Great Spanko.
He could have been the Great Spanko.
He might have had that written on the back of his cloak while flapping into
one
the night.
One would need a cape, I feel, if you actually do that. So yeah, the Great Spanko.
Well, tell us what you think of our mad crimes. Jump on the comments of wherever you listen to this episode. Talk to us on social media. Share your thoughts amongst your friends, your family, of other listeners. Tell people in the street. Talk to them of these tales and demand to know answers from them.
Spank them as you walk past.
No, get consent first. We cannot stress that enough.
That's fair.
You must have consent and then have at it.
Then crack on.
While doing all of that, do maybe mix yourself up a mad monkey.
Have a mad monkey.
I mean, it's Friday night, so why not?
Why the hell not? Absolutely.
Why
have a
not?
Madly monkey cocktail.
Madly monkey
cocktail. Everyone's dying horribly. The recipe will be out at some point whenever this episode comes out. But that evening.
Moments after the episode comes out.
But moments after, the recipe will be out there for everyone to enjoy.
Yes, and if you're listening to this now, go buy all the booze and mix up something. Keep tagging us in your cocktail pictures from around the world. Share them on social media. We love to see what you're drinking. Send us more suggestions of stories that we could be covering. They don't have to be murders. They can be just mad crimes that we can delve into. And if you haven't already, please come and join us on Patreon for more crazy stories every single week, as well as lots of extra bonus content. And find us on TikTok because it's fun.
It is, apparently.
It is. I am.
Sinead's hilarious. I'm not.
Thanks for listening, guys. We have been the people inside the Poisoner's Cabinet. We will see you next week. And remember, your loved ones are trying to kill you.
Bye.